Hello and welcome back to another torch review. I have the UltraTac K18 in for testing today. This sample was supplied by Gearbest, but as I normally do, I will run through all the pros and cons of this particular torch and list out some of the areas and features for you to have a look at. That's the items laid out on the table. We have the two spare O-rings included, an alkaline AAA cell and a small mini aluminium carabiner. Looking at the front of the box, not much to see here, it's covered with a sticker. So we'll look at the side. Here we have some of the features: maximum output up to 360 lumens. We have a 3 light levels plus strobe, reverse polarity protection. It's also drop proof as well. You can use this with two types of batteries. Here we have the listing of what's included in the box, and on the back we've got a very clear layout of the power outputs and run times. Remember, these are estimations, but do pay attention to the lithium at the 10440 and the AAA, which are going to vary significantly, and bear in mind that capacities of batteries also vary, but that gives you a rough idea of the run times. The included manual is very clear. You get diagrams and showing you the layout and operation very clearly. And also on this section, that's the using the torch, and it tells you the dimensions at the bottom. Nice to see a manual that's very straightforward. There's no mistakes or errors on this that I could see. You get a 2-year warranty with this particular torch. Now looking at the body, this uses the same type 3 heat treated aluminium, so it's hardened, and we've got quite a lot of knurling on the main body and on the head section, so it's quite a nice torch to grip even though it's quite a small size. Looking at the top, here we have the LED, and this has a dimpled effect or orange peel textured reflector. You can see the imperfections there. That helps to spread the light around. That's a deliberate design choice. Unscrewing the top cap, which also has the side switch. This is operated just by that. We see a flat contact point, and there is a spring at the bottom. Just looking at the head section, the glass on this is also hardened as well, and we have the clip attached here. Handy if you want to put it onto a bag or trousers or a belt loop or something like that. You can also reverse the clip. You can't do that on all of these torches. You have two positions that you can put it in, so you can either have it facing up or down with the clip. Now I have a 10440 lithium on the left, and I have a high capacity nickel metal hydride on the right. Though you do get the alkaline, I'd be tempted to use the nickel metal hydride. And we have the Sony cell that I'm inserting here, and then you just screw it in the top. There's the seal on it, and then that's water resistant. A quick press on the side switch won't have any effect, so you need to push and hold in for about half a second. It then turns the torch on, and you cycle through the power modes just by additional single presses. You also have a mode memory as well. Now to enter the lockout mode when it's off, double press, you'll see the one flash comes up. That means that it's in lockout, so if you press it again, nothing happens unless you double press it. And we see the two flashes means that the lockout is deactivated. So very straightforward and simple, works pretty well. And then double press when it's on for the strobe mode. Not all of these torches have a strobe mode, so it's nice to see that included. Comparing it to the Lumen Top Worm version 4, which is on the right, you can see that the K18 is a bit bigger, but not by much. There are some design differences. You also see on the reflector that it's a coarser, more dimpled effect on the Worm. That should probably make a difference to the beam output, and we'll have a look at that later. This is rated to IPX8, so it's water resistant. They say to around about 2 meters, and I dropped it a few times, but I did another drop test, 1 meter, no problems. I also dropped it on concrete, no issues at all. This is the K18 now with a beam shot. You can see quite a wide illumination and spread as we'd expect for a torch of this type. And now onto the Worm. These are both on high, so looking at that, I'd say that the Worm has a slightly higher power output. The low mode is around about 3 lumens, which is lower than some of the AAA torches that I have tested. Here we're outside with the wide angle shot. We're starting off with the K18 and the nickel metal hydride. We're up to the top setting. Now torches like this aren't going to have a huge range, and they'll probably show you more than you'll be able to see on the camera here with your eyes, because you've got more dynamic range, but it does a fairly decent job at the high level of lighting up the bottom of the garden. Now I'm looking at the Lumen Top Worm. One thing I noted as I'm in the high mode now is that the output is a bit brighter. It's definitely got a bit more spread as well. So regarding the specs on this, I'm in the medium mode now. At all the power levels, the worm is a bit brighter than the K18. Now I'm on the lithium ion, I'm on the medium setting, which is pretty similar to the high setting with the nickel metal hydride. And I'll jump it up to the high setting. I reckon it's around about 360 lumens. It's definitely around the 300 lumens mark. And you can see there's a big increase in brightness and illumination on that mode. Closer up beam shot now, we're into the medium from the low. I would say for normal use you'd be quite happy using the low or medium outside if you have partially adapted night vision. This is the telephoto test. I'm on the high setting, nickel metal hydride. I can see that myself and the camera's picking it up okay, but when we move to the lithium ion there is a big difference in brightness as you would expect. Now we're onto the worm, and this again confirms that I feel that the worm output on high is higher than the K18. Now using this normally, I would say the low and medium are perfectly fine for day-to-day use. If you're relatively close, even if you're walking along a path, something like that, it's really the high mode would be useful for longer distances, or it helps illuminate that bit more. What I've done is a separate test down the side of the house. We'll start with the nickel metal hydride. It's in its highest mode now on the K18. It's a pretty good illumination now. I wouldn't be unhappy at all with that. And then we're on to the worm, and you can see here it is a bit brighter than the K18. We're back down to the medium setting, and even that's a little bit brighter than the medium. Now with the test with the lithium ion cell on the K18, we're in medium, and then we go right up to the high. Big difference in illumination. Now you have to bear in mind that that will have an impact on the run times because these are quite small lithium cells. But it is nice that you do have the option to use that if you want to. Certainly get quite a nice power output from that. Now inside at 3 lumens, plenty bright enough to see if you are hunting around for something. I'm just looking around here in the utility room and I don't have any problems seeing at all with this. It's designed really to be a handy torch, a pocketable torch. You don't get huge power output levels on these, but the lithium cell does give it quite a significant power boost if you want to use that, but there are some drawbacks to that. This is the runtime test that I conducted with the 10440. The actual capacity is listed there. It's just under 300 milliamps an hour, which is typical for a cell of this size. And I got just under the 20 minutes runtime, and it started to drop. And it dropped quite quickly, so it really does drop the power output significantly after the high level on nickel metal hydride. This was just under 1000 milliamps an hour, which is one of the highest capacities I've tested, and the runtime was about 1 hour and 50 minutes, which is better than spec, up to around about just under 2 hours total. So that was a good runtime. Now do bear in mind that with that runtime it's balanced by the fact that the output isn't quite as high as the worm. The worm got about 45 minutes runtime before it started to drop down significantly. Wrapping up with a summary on the K18, I like the design on this torch. It's certainly better than some of the AAA torches that I've looked at. You have a reversible clip, you have 3 power levels and a strobe mode via the side switch, which can also be locked out. That's an important feature to have, particularly if you're putting it in a pocket or on a keychain. And the ability to accept lithium ion cells is nice, even though there are some disadvantages with that I've listed, particularly the short run times. The only drawback to the design of the torch would be the fact that you can't base or tail stand the torch, and you can do that on some models, although I wouldn't find that a significant drawback. It would be something that they could possibly adjust in a future design. So I hope you found the video useful. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe, where I'll be looking at more torch reviews and other products in the future.